points on parabola. You guys are going to have different points. Each group has a different set of points. They all kind of look similar. So for this one, we're going to have, I'm going to pause the video and write them all down. But they're going to be similar to yours, just as messy as yours. So that's the first ordered pair. Can you tell what I'm doing? Like, do you see on your slip how it looks the same? Yeah. Okay. So this should look similar to your slip. Not exactly the same because these are different numbers. But this is what I'm going to do. Just so I don't have to keep writing down these decimals, I'm going to say this is number 1. This is number 2. That way I don't have to keep writing them down. Number 3. That's what I think you should write down. That's what I was saying. You should maybe hold off to write all this down. I am recording this, so this will be up on Schoology sometime today. So, the first thing that I'm trying to do is to get an equation for my parabola, right? We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I know that parabolas are quadratic equations, and they have the standard form f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. If we have a, b, and c, then we have the equation of a parabola. Do we understand that? Yeah. Like if we had a, b, and c, we're done. Like we know the equation of the parabola, or the function, the definition for the parabola. That's what we want. If we have that equation, then we can use the quadratic formula and find the zeros, right? And then you're done with your problem. So, here is how to find the equation of the parabola that you have, because every group has a different equation. So, first I'm going to mention that this -3, that's an x value, right? Do we remember that? We talked about that yesterday. Yeah. Number 1, that's a y value, yeah? And f of x is also the same thing as y. It's considered our y, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my x, and I'm going to plug in my y, and write down one equation for this. So I get one equation. So I'll plug it in. Instead of writing x squared and x, I'm going to write -3 squared. Do we understand that? So on the right side, I get a times -3 squared. What is that?
9.
So it would be 9 times 8. Like some people would say a times 9. That's the same thing as 9a. What do I get for this spot?
-3.
Yeah, I'm plugging in a -3 here, because that's what my x is. So I get -3b. I don't know what b is. I only know what x is. And then the c is all by itself. What do you think I put in over here? All this stuff, right? Yeah. But I don't want to write it down, so I'm going to say number 1. And anytime I change number 1, I'm going to just do it in my calculator. That way I don't have to keep writing it down. It kind of avoids errors. Do we understand that?
Yeah.
I'm going to do the same exact thing, except for this is x, and that's y. And I'll have a different equation. Yeah? I chose these specific x values so that it would be more simple when you guys solve it. Everybody has -3, -1, and 1 as their x values. If not, you should let me know, but I'm sure that everybody does. Like on your paper, right now, if you look at your x values, it's -3, -1, and 1. Okay, so for the second equation, I'll plug in the -1 for x, and I'm still plugging it in to the right side there. So -1 squared is 1, so that's just, I'll write it in blue again, a, right, 1a, minus b plus c, and on the other side I write number 2, because that is the y coordinate, the second number. What do you write on the right side of the equal sign? What do you write? If you're plugging in 1. A
plus B
plus B
plus C.
plus C. It's the easiest one. And on the left side, yeah, the number 3. So now I have a system of 3 equations. And I want to figure out what A, B, and C are. Yeah? Now we're going to move on to solving the system of equations. So I'll take all of these, write them in the middle there. And remember, the first step is to take the first 2 equations and write them down to the left side. And then take the second 2 equations and write them down to the other side. Then I just look at them individually. What do you think would be the easiest to eliminate here? C, easily. We can eliminate C, and I'm going to do this in green. Which one do you want to multiply? The top one or the bottom one? The bottom one, okay. So I'm going to take this. I want the C's to have the same number in front. They already have the same number. That's just 1.